Welcome to the San Antonio FC FanCast. I'm your host, Royce. How are y'all doing tonight? And I got my partner in crime here. I am joined by three regulars.
He was saying three regulars, and then he froze.
And one irregular.
Oh, I thought it was me. That's crazy.
And one irregular.
Perfect. Robert, let's go to you. Robert, how are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to do this. Let's do it.
Oh, shit.
Dynamite drop in there, Harry. Harry, how are you?
Now I'm prepared. Last week, rocked the FTC shirt, Crocketeers cap. Ready to roll now.
There you go.
Let's go.
There you go. All right. And Matt, Gamez.
Which one?
How are you? Yeah, I said Gamez. Yeah.
Gamez.
I know what I'm doing here. I am a
Damn.
seasoned
Top
pro.
my last name too. That's crazy.
There you go.
But not just chilling, man. Trying to get over a stomach bug.
The worst. And
You
I
ate
guess,
some of Robert's cooking then, I guess?
oh no.
Don't start, Harry.
Oh,
buddy.
here we go.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, buddy.
And our guest at sporting_Texas on Twitter, nickname Weddle. We have Matt. Matt, how are you?
Welcome, Matt.
Welcome to the show. So,
Rafa
Harry?
is up
Yeah.
in
correct.
Austin area doing some school stuff,
Doing some
working,
recruiting.
allegedly working. We'll
Yeah.
just say that here. If you
Absolutely.
follow him on, I tell you what, if you have
Just check
Facebook,
Facebook. I was about to say.
follow Rafa, dude. Dude, he's everywhere, and it
Yeah.
tracks his moments. And
Hashtag where's Rafa? Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I always post on all those. So, absolutely. Well,
So funny.
let's hit the first big subject first. And SAFC's big win this past Saturday against Colorado Springs is 1-0 unassisted goal by Jorge Hernandez off of a classic when playing out of the back goes wrong. A little bit of pressure on Herrera, the Colorado Springs goalkeeper. He coughs it up. Jorge gets in front of the defender that was the intended target for the pass, slots it in, 1-0. That's all she wrote. See, Harry, do you have any thoughts on that game?
You're muted.
You're on mute, sir.
sorry, I was testing out the highlights here. Did we want to go over the highlights or no?
We don't really need to because there's one
Okay.
goal. There isn't really anything too controversial. It was a pretty straightforward goal. But we did, I guess, the bigger plays, I guess, if you can call them, were the Ja'Cory Hayes and Shana Gomez clearances off the line.
Yep.
And the other talking point we can talk about is how SAFC went without an 8. Instead, they had Jorge Hernandez as a 10, and then you had 2 6s. You had that double pivot, which is a classic Marcina in the playoffs thing to deploy. Saw that a lot last season. We haven't seen that too much this season, but we saw it in this game. It was super effective. So that, those are pretty good talking points.
What about no Rita?
That's what I mean. That was nothing but tactical. That's all that was. Marcina obviously wanted 2 6s. To start, it was Ja'Cory and Abu. Abu, whether it was time wasting or he really did, was protecting himself from injury, felt the pull or something. Subbed in PC for Abu. And PC did what PC does. He got a yellow card immediately and defended like nobody's business. So,
For sure.
Robert, you have any thoughts on the game?
I mean, it was classic Marcino. Like, he went to the people he can count on in the playoffs. Like, more of a defensive-minded setup. And the thing with Herrera, granted, everyone says, like, oh, he coughed it up. It was like, if you watch that guy through the whole game, he was
He was a
uncomfortable.
mess.
He literally was nervous, or like playing out of the back was a bad idea. They got what they deserved when they continued to think it was a good idea to play out of the back like that, and eventually it bit them. And that's all I can say. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he had a lot of distributions that went well out of bounds, not just a little out of bounds, just off target, like in the crowd out of bounds, like very, very not close. Let's
Even
say,
in the first half, where we were watching him on our side here, Royce, you could tell he was uncomfortable. And after like the first couple, SAFC adjusted, and they were like daring him to not, to kick it down, because as soon as he kicked it, they were pressing, the center backs up, in the box. It was just crazy that Colorado Springs didn't make any adjustments on that.
yeah, he looked frantic. He looked uncomfortable. It's not a good recipe for success whenever the guy you want to
Okay.
Hey, Mijo, we're not allowing that. That's not allowed on here.
What?
That's a 1-game ban. Go Cowboys!
Oklahoma
Come on,
State
dude. Oh yeah. He's talking about
or
Oklahoma
Wyoming
State.
Cowboys? Which one?
Wyoming.
Which one?
Wyoming is where I was gonna go. Yeah.
Those Cowboys are okay. The rest, get out of here.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, Gamez, did you have any
Did he freeze again?
Max
Guess
Headroom.
he froze.
We're having all sorts of problems over here. Gamez, you have any thoughts on the game?
I mean, it was pretty competitive on both ends. I mean, sheesh. You think you would have thought that they would have gotten a goal sooner, or even maybe, I don't know, one of the. To me, I just felt like we should have had a goal sooner than we did. But I mean, at the end of the day, we got a goal. We got the victory out. That's all that matters, really.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And obviously, going back at least 2 seasons, if not 3 seasons, we still have that. If we score first, then we are
61 games.
Super tough to beat. So there is that, and we definitely went for it. I will say with the 2 6s, we did return kind of the over the top hope ball, try to get Tanny and Santi to chase. But the one big difference in this game that I noticed that was different from the previous, I don't know what, we won one of the last 11 matches, was the organization of the press from Santi and from Tanny. They looked locked in with each other. They knew where each other were with the press, and obviously that led directly to the goal that Jorge was able to get up, get in front of his guy, and put it in. So the organization of the press was very impressive. Plus the domination of the midfield. All Colorado Springs really had was the outside wings, given they have Malik Foster, who is undoubtedly the fastest player in the league, and still kind of shut him down. Let's go over to our guest, Matt. Matt, did you have any other thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think the goal of any good press is to win the ball in the opposition area. The second goal is to force a long ball and have a sturdy enough of a setup that you can win the ball on that. And the last couple of matches before this, we'd been in a 4-3-3. The 3 matches before that, a 4-4-2. So to see us kind of settle back in to a system that Marcina's comfortable with, that provides a sturdy spine, that matches up well against a 4-4-2. I loved seeing Marcina get back to his 5-3-2 setup. And like what Viking Bob said, was really surprised that the opposition kept with playing out the back even after 30 minutes, because Toyota Field is an excellent stadium to get after a goalkeeper or back line, regardless of which end they're playing from, and get in their head and let them know, it's time to boot that ball up and try something else. Missed Rita on the bench. I don't know who you would sit, and not include in the team sheet for him. The 3-man midfield with 1 center mid on the bench kind of begs for him to be included in that team selection. but it felt like some vintage SAFC and a classic Marcina performance. Invincible once we went 1-0 up, and something the crowd could go home smiling about.
I do. I know Robert's going to cheer about picking Detroit. I want to cheer myself, give myself a pat on the back for mentioning Abu the last episode, saying, "Hey, what about Abu?" And you guys all just kind of laughed me off. That's come on, where's my praise? Come on, Robert.
Good job, Harry. There you go. Good job.
I will say the person that had the closest lineup, and he was actually just missing one player when we went through the lineups and guessed them. Anybody want to guess?
Rafa.
It was Rafa. That's correct. Rafa had Rita instead of Abu. Everybody else he nailed dead on.
Nice.
I thought we'd go with the 4-3-3 as we had in a couple games before, except for the Indy game. The Indy game, we kind of went back to that 5-3-2 or the 3-5-2. But we had an 8, a 6, and 10, and not 2 6s like this formation. And obviously, with the Indy's strong point is their midfield. So I guess Marcina decided to do the typical Marcina thing and just say, we're locking this down in the middle. You got to go around us. Good luck. And Indy was not able to. They created a couple chances, but the defense bent and didn't break. And that's what it takes in playoff ball. And that's where we're at. That's typical Marcina ball. So
I do have a question. Do you think, because PC's been rested quite a bit, Abu's been rested quite a bit, San Antonio's playoff position has been pretty secure for a while. I don't think Coach Marcina really cares whether he's 1 or 4. Obviously, I'm sure he would like to have the extra home game, but you're going to have to face Sacramento, most likely in Sacramento. At some point, just because we dropped a few too many games. Do you think that he kind of held his cards a little bit towards the end of the season of what his actual lineup was going to be, kept it more offensive compared to come playoff time where it was all defensive? Because it's been a while since we've seen this lineup. From San Antonio FC. I'd be interested in your thoughts in that guest, Matt.
Yeah, Abu's one of my favorite players, and to see him feature in this role, kind of protecting the back line, is where I enjoy him the most. There's that idea of La Pausa in a player where, with all the chaos around you, who can settle the ball on the carpet, knock it around a bit, and he was one of the leading passers in the game, and someone that, even though we don't play a system where we want to dictate the tempo as much as it's allowed, he provided that for us. I think there was a lot of, whether it was holding cards close to his chest or just experimenting with the personnel he had, you saw Marcina chopping and messing with systems a bunch towards the end of the season, inverting wing backs, playing with a double pivot where one of your pivots is a creative playmaker that gets forward like Jorge. So sometimes it works out beautifully, and sometimes it goes haywire like against Indianapolis. But I think we're getting back to his roots now, and the question for me going forward will be if it is a Jacori, an Abu, and a Jorge midfield, if he's got any sort of plan B against not to get too ahead in our conversation, against a deep lying team, a low block team like Sacramento is, if Rita will be included in the team sheet next week as just that creative option off the bench in a system that both the players and the managers seem really comfortable with.
Yeah, definitely to piggyback off of that, Abu really did help lock down the midfield, and which really helped out the back line. Going as far as one of our really top danger chances we had was created because Carter Manley was able to come off the back line and make a run, and he was one-on-one with the keeper, and you don't expect a center back to finish, and he didn't finish, but at the same rate the chance was made and created. just because of the stability that was there, that one of the center backs could comfortably go up and know that somebody had his back. At the same rate for the Sacramento match, yeah, there's a lot to be seen. It'll be very interesting. They've definitely played us tough this season. A lot of teams have played us tough this season, but it's playoffs, so everything changes in the playoffs. This is where Marcina's teams typically thrive, and we'll see where we're at. Harry, you want to get next?
Yeah, so let me just kind of wrap up on the Colorado Springs match. Possession 60-40 to Colorado Springs. We led in shots 14-10, 6 on target, 2 for them. 6 corner kicks to 5 corner kicks. We had 3 offsides, 11 fouls for us, 19 for the Switchbacks. We had 3 yellow cards. One of them was to, I guess officially it went to Bautista, but the announcer said it was to the players warming up and to the ball boys. So that was kind of comical for that here.
So proud. So proud.
What happened?
So the yellow card that Bautista got, they announced it that it was the players that were warming up and the ball boys. So it was a combination of all of them that got the card. Big chances, and this is where I think we kind of hinted at earlier here. There was a 1-0 game. I thought, for me personally, I thought San Antonio was in control of it. We had 4 big chances and we missed 4 big chances. They had 1 and missed 1 on their side here. So, but I thought for the game, we had 60% passing, which I think for Rafa is an acceptable passing amount for him. Obviously, I would like it higher, but it's out of the 50s. But I think we limited Colorado Springs to 67% passing. And the biggest thing to me is, and this is probably where, PC, Hayes, and Abu, you didn't see the gaps that we've been seeing in the last, really all year, for that here. So the defense definitely tightened up. The passing was solid, yet they still had their chances for that here. So any final comments, regular season, Matt, before we move on? That's you, Matt. Oh, sorry.
Is that Giannis or me?
Regular season
that's
match.
what I'm like. Which one are we talking about?
You can't call somebody a new nickname and expect people to know
Regular
what you're
season
talking
match.
about. What are
There's
we
guest
doing?
Matt and regular season Matt.
Oh, nah, I don't have any more comments. I'm just.
Good Lord.
It was good to see how
Our
the guys.
communication's as bad as Herrera's with Colorado Springs. Wow. Go ahead, Game I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, but it was good to see the guys actually doing a little bit better and coming off this win. So hopefully we can see more of that that more strategic passing how they were doing, and hopefully we can get that kind of passing with Sacramento, because I know they like to press as much as we do. So we'll see.
Robert, any final thoughts before we look into the next round?
He's muted.
The big thing is 1 is better than 0. That's all I got to say.
That's true.
You just got to win, Put it in the net.
Let me see here. All right, so all the craziness happened out in the East for that here. So Lou City got by Memphis in penalties. I don't think that was very shocking for that here. DC, or not DC, DCFC, but Detroit got by the Riverhounds. They had 1 shot. It was a hell of a shot. Riverhounds had 1,000 shots on goal, it seemed like, and went down 1-0 and are knocked out. Bob Lilly, for whatever reason, just cannot get it done in the playoffs. Next match, Charleston Battery took out Indy 11, Robert's favorite team, 5-0. Probably the biggest upset, Legion 3 over Tampa Bay Rowdies 3-0 for that here. And out west, El Paso could not pull the upset. OC Orange County got a
Questionable
call. Well, two questionable calls, but the goal was a great goal, and you can kind of blame the goalkeeper,
It was
setting up the
disorganized.
wall. But yeah, but he converted it. But yeah, El Paso was fouled, didn't get called. Orange County, Milan took his normal dive, got the call. He converted, and they held on. But Orange County was the better team. There's no question about that. And then in probably the most thrilling match of the weekend, Phoenix 4, San Diego Loyal 3, and a match that went back and forth. Loyal tied it at near at the death for that here to at 3, and then Phoenix won it pretty much at death in extra time. I think it was the 118th minute to where they advanced and put the Loyal out to pasture.
Rest in peace.
For that here, kind of sad, disappointing, but I'm not a fan of San Diego, so there's that. And then of course Sacramento got an early goal, held off New Mexico. It was a solid match. New Mexico held its own, but Sacramento was the better team, which sets up our picks here for this one here. So Louisville hosts Detroit City. I'm going Louisville City because, for the 1,000th time, they'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
What a run. What a run.
Yeah.
People are trying to really force the Astros into a dynasty. Louisville City has been a dynasty. They've been incredible to watch. Give me Louisville. They'll win. Let's go 2-0.
Oh, you want scores?
I'll do scores. Robert was the only one that went specific, so I'm trying to get some of that specifics in there. So give me Louisville 2-0.
I got 1-0 Louisville. I think it'll be a slugfest. Robert, I know you're going Detroit.
I'm double down. I'm going to double down on a Nate Steinwasser, a couple saves on the PK in the PK shootout. Let's go. They're going to make this game ugly, sloppy, gross. It's not soccer you want to watch. You don't want to show your kids. It's not a fundamentally soccer. It's literally like that. It's the ugliest thing you've ever seen. And it's going to be 0-0 at half or at the end of the game. It's going to be Detroit's going to win. Everyone's going to hate them. Yeah, it is what it is. Accept it, embrace it.
I don't know. We've all seen the Vikings play on Sunday. That's pretty damn
Not
ugly
on Monday,
too.
though, sir. Bite your tongue. Niners, they know.
It's okay. Y'all both suck for Kansas City. So y'all good. We're good.
Oh, God.
Matt G, you're picking for Rafa this week.
Oh, you better pick good.
Uh-oh. Turn on your
For
fan.
me, okay, for my sanity, I want to pick Detroit in a 1-0.
You're going Detroit? Okay.
I'm picking Detroit.
All righty.
Rafa,
I don't think that's
I would
Rafa.
go
Hey, even if Louisville's purple, screw them.
I feel like Rafa would pick Louisville.
That's correct. I was gonna say you are just okay. He's
Well,
gonna have
we
words
got to go
you,
with
but
Matt's
you do
picks,
you.
right? Because Rafa
Yeah,
isn't here.
yeah.
I sent him a text. He didn't respond. And then
I think
guess
he's at a
Matt.
fair.
Yeah, he is.
This is one of the tougher ones to pick. Detroit City, worst attacking force in the league, but top 5 defensively. Louisville, they're kind of
Oh,
middle of the
Rafa.
pack.
Okay, hold on. Shoot, I gotta add it.
See, I caught it. I knew he would pick Louisville.
Would
Rafa
y'all let
2-0.
Matt
I'll go Detroit.
let's say let Matt finish his thought. Jeez, you're stepping all over his toes. Can we call this like the Battle of the Cities? Can we call this?
It's a power struggle right now.
It might be two of the
Is this the
poorest
tale of two
attacking
cities?
sides still in the playoffs, but
Yeah.
with Detroit still having as good of a defense as they do, they can muck things up and make it a knockout, drag-out match. I'd love to see them get an upset in this, so I'll go with them.
I would
What
love
was
to
your
see
score?
Maxie Rodriguez get a 1-0 win. Yeah, do we call this a Charles Dickens derby with the Tale of Two Cities? Is that what's
There you
going
go.
on?
There you go.
The next one, Charleston Battery, coming off the scrubbing of Indy 11 because they were a scrubby team.
Like
and
Wow.
hey, don't bring in the Tulsa into this. They don't know anything about postseason. That's the last
soccer.
time I picked them. Or the Fighting Kailers Legions. I'm going with Charleston Battery. I think they're gonna go 3-0 over the Fighting Legion.
Give me the Legion 2-0. Their backline looked unbelievable against Tampa Bay. I think they'll pull it off again. Give me the Legion over Charleston, which lines up perfectly for a USL Championship final at Toyota Field.
I'm saving that for the next round. Robert?
I'm with Royce on that, like Legion 2-1, because the Battery, one game good, next game horrible. This is the horrible game. They're gonna lose 2-1 at home. The Fighting Kailers 2-1.
Rafa, if you want to put your pick in, and then Matt G.
I was gonna say fake Rafa or Rafa.
Fake Rafa or Rafa.
I'm gonna go Legion 1-0.
That's actually a
Because I do
sensible
want that.
pick, dude.
I want that home field advantage.
Oh, Rafa with the Battery 2-1 in extra time.
Wow.
And then guest Matt.
Battery, one of the most volatile teams in the league. They score goals, they concede goals. You never know who's showing up for them, if they're going to play with quality or just get spanked. I like that kind of craziness. I want to see them keep going, so I'm rooting for the Battery in this one.
What's your score?
Give me 3-0.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's the same score.
That's a shellacking. That's a shellacking.
Wow.
Orange County and Phoenix. I've got Phoenix. I'm going to go 4-2 Phoenix. I think their offense is there. I've called Orange County fool's gold all year, and this is where it shows up. Plus, Phoenix travels, and I hope they take over Championship Field like they did a few years ago.
That's fair enough. Give me Orange County 1-0 in added extra time. And Robert?
I'm gonna ride the Phoenix train, and outside of Carlos
Switch
Harvey,
the graphic, Harry.
outside of Carlos Harvey, they're pretty good, and I'm gonna go with Phoenix 2-1. There's gonna be at least 2 red cards though. If Harvey's out and Olaski's out, they're gonna get into something.
Olaski won't. It'll be somebody else from Orange County, but
one of the
I like
Olaskis,
that.
one of
I
the
like
6
that.
Olaski brothers are out.
Wow, the flying Olaski brothers. Yeah.
They multiply like rabbits.
Oh, and just to make sure, Robert Nicole has Detroit 3-1,
Ooh, that's tough.
Battery 2-0, and then OC 5-4 in penalties.
Robert,
good shout on that.
Nicole, no offense, but I don't think Detroit City can even score 3
I
goals.
was about to say, when they scored 3
Yeah.
goals, what was it? When's the last time they scored 3?
Rafa's going Phoenix 3-1. Matt G.
I'll go Phoenix 2-1. And I see Orange County at least getting 2 reds out of this one also.
Damn.
They're a bunch of hackers.
Yeah, like,
No, they're a bunch of divers, dude. They're a bunch of divers.
No, they're hackers too. Watch them.
OC are divers. The hacker on the field in this game is going to be Carlos Harvey.
Carlos Harvey, yeah.
And Partita, the dude from Orange County.
Oh, and what's his name? Oh,
he'll be back, huh?
Yeah, McNulty.
McNulty,
Will be
there you
back.
go.
Bastard.
Yeah, it could get spicy. I'd
it will get spicy. The Western conferences are, dude. If you're a soccer fan, you for SAFC fans, obviously we hopefully we have a rooting interest still to be able to watch OC Rising. But even if you don't, that match is going to be lit, just like Sacramento, San Antonio. Neither of the four teams like each other. Neither of the fan bases really care for each other. I'm looking forward to this week. And then Matt, the guest Matt.
I'll follow my fellow Matt 2-1 Phoenix Rising, one of the better passing sides in the league with a fun attack to watch. I could see them putting this to bed early and then just passing the ball about the park till it's over with.
So, which brings us to the preview for San Antonio, traveling to the capital of California, Sacramento Republic. We'll start with you, Robert. Your kind of thoughts on how this shakes down, kind of things that you're looking for, especially from a goalkeeper perspective, because they are two good goalkeepers on both sides.
Yeah, it's physical. It's going to be, that's the number one thing. You're going to see a lot of hard play, a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. I just hope they can corral it. And the biggest thing, if you look at the USL pundits, they're all picking against us. And I hope our team looks at that, channels it, puts bulletin board material. Nobody expects us to win. And that's great. I love it. I embrace it. And I hope they do too. Because in my mind, look at the losses. We both lost 6 games. It's not like we're a team that's surprising. Coming out like New Mexico, we've been there before. We got experience. I'll put our roster against her all day, and we have equal to talent, if not better. So I'm going to pick, obviously, San Antonio. And you know what? I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 in their house on their cow pasture field. We're going to whoop them. Let's go. 2-0. Let's mark the tape. Mark it right now, Broncos. Mark it. Like Monday Night Football. When no one believed in us, let's go.
Still don't believe in you.
Go to your room, man.
Damn.
Nobody has.
He is in his room. Come on,
Go to
dude.
your other room,
For
sir.
real, I am in my room.
Matt is in the basement. He is in the basement. He is our basement there. If we lived in Detroit, he'd be on the 451 podcast for the hair.
Looks like a dungeon to me. Anyway, so this will definitely be an interesting match. How this will line up. Sacramento's 3-4-3 against probably Marcina's 3-5-2. Some of the more interesting points, Sac will definitely have Cicerone wreaking havoc going forward, as will Roro. Roro will provide a lot of service in there. Always one of the consummate vets in the league.
Professional. A lot of respect for Rodrigo Lopez.
Absolutely. And you have Gurr. Gurr's going to be tough to shut down. We'll see what we put on him, Maloney, or if we switch sides and put Shana Gomez, which Shana Gomez had one of his best games in a San Antonio FC uniform in the match against Colorado. So it's going to be a tough match. It's going to be a slog for sure. I do see a world in which San Antonio scores very late, and I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to punch them in the mouth. We're going to shut everything down. We'll punch them in the mouth, not literally, but in a sense, figuratively, and we win off of a playoff Santi Patino screamer from outside the box to win 1-0. That's going to be my call.
Your thoughts on this comment from Dennis? We need to control the crosses from the wings.
That's what I mean. We need to shut down Gurr. Gurr's one of the best wing backs in the league. He's always dangerous for a cross. Cicerone's big, and that's one thing that he definitely provides. That's why we need playoff Shana Gomez to show up, or Maloney if he's on that side to shut that down. We definitely need to work on that. They are dangerous in the cross, and they play well from there as well as with set pieces.
What was your pick? Did you give your pick yet, Royce, or no?
Yeah. SAFC 1-0 on a late
1-0
Santi
late.
Patino screamer.
And then Robert put this out here. Are we going to do the lineup question as well or no?
Sure.
We can. I don't think it's necessary, but I mean, we can.
Okay. Well, his was Marsman, Gomez, Tanner, Garcia, Manley, Jome, Maloney, Hernandez, Nathan, Tani, and Patino. I think we're all pretty much in agreement that we're going to roll with what we had last game, right? As far as for that makeup.
I was kind of shocked Nathan didn't play.
That's the one that shocked me. I could see them making more changes, but got to remember it's playoffs, and if it goes to extra time, you want to make sure you're saving those subs for that extra 30 minutes for that here. So I'll give my pick. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 0-0. But San Antonio wins 5-3 in PKs.
Okay.
And then Darius, Pirano revenge game or not, didn't see him on the field versus Mexico. He was on the bench, but he has been nursing an injury. He picked up a nasty knock from a game, I want to say 3-4 weeks ago for that here.
It was like his second or third game against with Sacramento. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how healthy he is. He was on the bench. He did not get subbed in for that here, so that does make you wonder.
He wasn't even on the lineup.
He was on the 18.
He was in the 18.
He was on the bench, but he didn't start or anything. We kind of talked about it, last week or 2 weeks ago, that Pirano, he shows flashes, but he just doesn't have that consistency for that here. And Coach Cano, what's good, gents? You're obviously good. And then before we get to guess Matt and his pick for San Antonio, edge and penalties. Last week I asked, you said it was a flip of a coin, didn't really matter. You still hold true on that?
As far as penalties with Sac Republic against San Antonio FC, man, we've seen Sac Republic have a really nice penalty shootout against a top MLS squad whenever they made it to the U.S. Open Cup finals last season. This season, it's much of the same lineup. So we're really going to need Marsman to step up if we want to have a chance in penalties.
Guess, Matt, your prediction.
Yes, sir. I know a lot of the feeling was San Antonio FC is limping into the playoffs after a tough finish to the season. I think Sacramento is kind of limping into this match. If you look at match momentum, especially in the first half, New Mexico really got the better of them. Along XG numbers, it's a match New Mexico should have expected to get more from. We talked a little bit about how surprised we all were to see last week San Antonio FC play against a team that was just so determined to play out of the back so deep into a match. And when you watch the tape of Sacramento versus New Mexico, you see much of the same, with some pretty sketchy mistakes by their backline and goalkeeper along the way. They get out of that match against New Mexico with the center back goal. That's his first of the year, despite New Mexico getting the better number of clear-cut chances. Sacramento, to me, feels like they're ready to fall back down to earth, given the difference between their expected goals against and how much they've actually conceded. And so if we're able to kind of recapture that feeling we had last week, I'd love to see us get out of this game 1-0 and bring home something for us all to have smiling going into the Halloween weekend.
So you got San Antonio winning by what score?
1-0.
1-0.
Same lineup, trotted back out there. Maybe a little change here or there on who's on the bench. I'd love to see Zuhair in our team sheet, at least on the bench. But yeah, 1-0 for me.
Yeah, I think to me, my only concern is what happens if Sacramento gets ahead, because that's what happened in the match earlier this year, where they won 3-1, and Far got a late red, and they ended up getting that second goal. But they scored on a PK in the 7th minute, and San Antonio was chasing after that. So to me, it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be extremely important for San Antonio FC to come out, hold it 0-0 or get a goal. Obviously get a goal would be better, but at least keep it scoreless till the second half for that here. Because if Sacramento does get an early goal, then I think it'll be interesting to see what changes that Marcina does do. One thing that I think that we have better this year than last year is this team does have the capability to score. They led the league in goals with 63. Sacramento, on the other hand, only allowed I think it was 28 goals all year. They were the toughest defensive team. So it will be there here. Coach Cano said history tells us there will be chaos. Just look at the East. Wow. To me, like I said here, out of these 4 teams in the West, you could see any of these 4 teams going to the winning the entire title. I think, for me personally, I think the winner of this game will be the odds-on favor to win. Win the West, and also against the USL title for San Antonio. And to me, for us long-term San Antonio fans, this is a rematch of the 2014 title winners for lower league soccer. Sacramento for Division III, and San Antonio for Division II, going back to the Scorpion years. So a lot of history between these two clubs, a lot of tight games between these clubs. The season series is 5 wins for Sacramento, 3 draws, 4 wins for San Antonio. However, I do believe this is the first playoff that we will be facing each other for that here. So before we do get out of here and final thoughts here, I know the Crocketeers are having a watch party at Alamo Draft House downtown. SAFC is doing.
Oh, hold on. So let me say one thought. First of all, it's the Alamo Brewery downtown.
Oh,
Alamo Draft House is a movie theater.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, my bad.
The Alamo Brew House over there off of, is it Camden, over there by the Hayes Street Bridge?
Yes.
That's where Crocketeers are going to have theirs. But really quick, just to finish up my thoughts on the upcoming game, tomorrow's game actually at 9:30, which that's heavy. And the freaking Maple Leafs just scored against the Stars. It's going to be a tough.
Shocking.
It's 2-1. Let's settle down. And the Stars are top team in the league. Anyway, it's going to be a tough match either way. Historically and currently, both teams are 2 of the top teams in the league in second division soccer, and honestly, 2 of the top teams probably in America right now. And it's going to be a tough battle. And honestly, I do believe that the winner of this match will go on to win the USL Championship period. So we'll see how that goes. Should be a great game, even for if you're not a fan of San Antonio or Sacramento. It should still be a great watch. It's going to be some really high quality. Yeah, that's because the Red Wings suck. They're young and they're just not good right now.
Yeah, so I want to add on to that.
So
the Red Wings are a dead team to me, because back in the 90s when it was the Red Wings were good and the Avalanche were good, Detroit was just cheap shot in the Avalanche all over the place, and they're just a horrible team, just like Detroit City. But go ahead. That's
what Konstantinov and I can't think of the other. Detroit had 2 classic enforcers in the 90s, and that's all they did. Kind of like a Scott Stevens for the New Jersey Devils. You have no room to talk. The Avs had Adam Foote, and they had a few enforcers.
Dude, we were a
in the
perfect
90s.
team. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, no, they're
Patrick Waugh was
Yeah.
the cleanest goalkeeper ever.
My favorite hockey highlight of all time. If anybody wants to go out there, this turned into a hockey podcast like that because we are ADHD as crap. My favorite hockey podcast, my favorite hockey highlight of all time is in the playoffs. I think it's actually against the Red Wings. I believe it's the Western Conference Final. Patrick Waugh makes a glove save, puts his glove in the air. It's called the Statue of Liberty. That's what he used to do. He used to raise it high, like, look what I found. Only the puck's right in front of him, and it gets knocked in for the game-winning goal. An amazing highlight. It's awesome because of Patrick Waugh's like, I got it, guys. I got this. And the puck's right there in the ice, gets knocked in, and it's a goal, and his heart breaks, and I didn't like Patrick Waugh. So that was great because the Avs and the Stars always had heated battles in the late 90s and the early 2000s in hockey.
Is that before that?
Anyway.
After they stole him from Minnesota.
So the North Stars moved.
The
North Stars moved in
I know that.
'93 down to Dallas. Yeah,
They did, and then won
they
the title right after Mondano. Yeah, I know.
6 years later, not really right after, but they did.
It's
and
pretty
then
much the same.
Minnesota got the Wild back, and they have been garbage ever since. So,
Yeah, not so good. Yeah.
Yeah, pick your battles on that one, pal. So anyway, let's get off of that's been hockey talk. Thanks for joining us. Let's get back to the topic at hand. SAFC against Sacramento. It's going to be a tough fight, and I think
this game might be a hockey fight, though. I know we're not a hockey thing here, but
I mean,
it's going to have that same feeling of there's going to be some hip checks. There's going to be
over under red cards.
It's
going to be two red cards. I'm
feel
telling
like
you,
that.
two red cards. I swear.
Nice segue here.
I don't want it, but it's going to.
I will say, to conclude this real quick, the Robert Nicolai made the comment that the 90s and 2000s Red Wings were amazing. And that's because it was before the salary cap, and they literally spent twice as much as the next team on their salary. They had the likes of Yzerman, Shanahan,
Fedorov,
Sergei Fedorov. I mean, to the point where all you needed was Chris Osgood in goal, and you were fine. You were going to win Stanley Cups, which is ridiculous. So anyway, let's move on from hockey talk. Thanks for joining us.
Quick question for the pod: Is everyone in on Marsman between the sticks for this one?
There's no question.
Yes,
There's no
absolutely,
question.
absolutely.
And he deserves the full backing of the fan base. I don't understand why it's even a question.
And if please, as a fan, this goes back to kind of Cardone, Restrepo. It's okay to have conversations, but don't discount or don't disrespect each other's performance or try to knock down the other player. Both of them, obviously, Farr wants to play. Marsman wants to play. Coach Marcina is the one that made the decision. Marsman's brought in, and if you listen to his interview from there, getting that victory, what stood out to me is that he came to San Antonio to get back his love for the game because of how he was treated at Inter Miami and along those lines. Let's not be that fan base that can't get beyond a coaching decision of two quality goalkeepers. These are quality goalkeepers. Don't be that asshole that says, hey, I hope we lose because, we started, because Farr isn't starting. Don't be that guy. I know there's somebody on Facebook that's starting shit like that. Don't be that dude.
It's
Amen,
exactly
Harry.
Like we just gotta trust the coaches. I mean,
Yeah. And amen, Harry. And they get to see the players in training and to get to see what they're all about. We kind of backed into getting Marsman, to be honest with you. And the dude, I mean, we looked up his salary. It's
solid.
good. It is a
It's
good
solid.
percentage.
It's solid.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
solid.
It might be this
It's
similar
more
to
than
the
Stuber
entire.
that starts for Austin FC. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it might be. It's probably more than the rest of the 10 that are on the field with him at the same time when he starts. So Marsman is a talent that we will not see the likes of in this league very often, and it's amazing that he's on our team. We need to get behind him. He deserves for us to get behind him, especially when he's on the field. Leave those decisions to the coaches. Leave it to the players to battle each other out. This is kind of like, I don't know, Kylian Mbappe being the left winger and everybody, and for some reason he's completely available. I'm not saying that Marsman's on Mbappe's level, but he's a level up. So let's say I don't know who's a level up player right now, really good. Perfect.
Oh, I thought everything
Kirk,
froze.
Kirk
Today, but it's
Cousins.
so still.
Yeah, that's no, not Kirk Cousins. The computer had a lag. My brain is having a lag. We're having a
Cousins
great
is
time.
amazing. Let me tell you.
So, well, whatever. We'll say Kylian Mbappe as it. Kylian Mbappe for some reason is available, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to play a game in America. Are you available for a game?" And it's like our fan base going, "No, we don't want this guy. We don't want him to play. We like Patino too much. We like Nathan too much. What are we talking about? You put Kylian Mbappe there all the time to play for you. It's kind of the same thing. But either way, even as a person, as a fan base, we need to get behind Marsman. The dude's here. He's here to produce. He's here to help us get to that cup, and he's here really to enjoy himself all over again. And it really seems like he is enjoying himself, and the club is really meshing together with him. And it really shows how strong of a culture that clubhouse has and that franchise has under Marcina, that you can bring in, kind of the random players that they've brought in, especially Marsman at the very end of the season, and everybody's just gelled and everybody looks like they're on the same page already together. A lot of times you'll see guys get loaned in the beginning of the season or even halfway through the season, and they never mesh and they never gel at all with the team. It's taken Marsman, it took him 2 or 3 weeks to really gel, and now this is after 6 weeks, and it looks like he's been here all season. So I think it's great. Harry, go ahead.
The referee is going to be the same referee that just did the Loyal Phoenix Rising match where he handled out 6 yellow cards. But if you watch that game, he had really good control. He also did the San Antonio RGV match down in RGV, which for that here. So USL and pro referees looks like that they did put one of their top rated referees in for this match. So. Not saying he couldn't have an off night or the crew can't have an off night or that we don't act a full or Sacramento doesn't act a full. But I think for a referee for this match, USL got the right guy here based on looking at his results for this year. I think he's only gave out 1 red card all year for that, and that was in the Memphis and Indy 11 match back in August. So. That might cue down the 2 red cards unless there's shenanigans that are going on. But I think so what's so important in this game between Sacramento and San Antonio is how the referee calls the game and what he allows and what he doesn't allow. But watching the Rising Loyal match, which was a physical match as well, he had pretty good control on that match as well here from a referee perspective. And Rafa, this isn't Mbappe doesn't regret anything. He's making more money. Not everybody can go to Real Madrid, Ben.
Give it time, Rafa. He's on the way.
So Darius said Sacramento hasn't lost a home game in 5 games, and we haven't won an away game in 5 games. Something's got to give.
And that's kind of the story of the match. You've got the highest scoring team in the league versus the greatest defense in the league. So it's just a perfect thing for us to feast on in some USL playoff football.
Something's got to give too. Electric Boogaloo. All right, let's talk watch party.
Since I'm banned, somebody else has to take it because I got the Alamo place wrong, draft house or whatever it is.
No, Harry's gonna go watch.
He's gonna be at the draft house by himself.
The Moonlight Guys or whatever that movie is. He's gonna go and enjoy himself a Scorsese movie.
Hey, Trolls number 3 is coming out, right? I believe so.
Hey,
if you say so.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, Justin Timberlake, man, come on.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. So how about them Spurs?
Well, thankfully, we know this will never become a movie and pop culture podcast. Wow.
Oh, I thought
So-
that was something else, Rafa.
Yeah, no, it's a chicken and pickle. Yeah, I saw
that's
that.
not the first thing I thought of, though.
Let's
So transition. Let's
reconnoiter,
go.
get everything back together, reorganize. So tomorrow night's watch party. It's the official San Antonio FC watch party, as well as the FTC. The San Antonio watch party is going to be at Chicken and Pickle off UTSA Boulevard. Should be a great time. It's a great venue. They have really good food, cold drinks, plenty of space, plenty of TVs. Should be a great time and a great atmosphere. So hopefully we all see y'all out there, and we all get to celebrate a nice SAFC win away. So, Harry, you want to take it away from here?
My only final thought on that is, before we get into final thoughts, I'm hoping that we as fans can, hopefully there'll be some UTSA students out there that we can try to help, because this is over near the UTSA campus. We're out here to try to be able to recruit them to coming in. I've actually never been to Chicken in the Pickle, but I know, was it the Jeff Traylor shows out there, for UTSA football. And please show up. I would love to see a great crowd out there, at one of the watch parties, whether you're going downtown to watch Crocketeers or going over to FTC 210 and the SAFC watch party at the Chicken and Pickle. Should be a fun thing. It'll be a late night, so be safe. If you are going to partake in some adult beverages, please make sure you've got a designated driver, or you get an Uber, or what's the other company?
Lyft. Just
Lyft,
ride share, get a cab, just be
ride
safe.
share, get a cab, be safe.
Don't risk it.
Don't risk it, for that here, along those lines. My final thought, like I said here, and I'm going to circle back to the goalkeepers. Just support the boys. As I mentioned the last time here, we've got 3 games max left of the season. All 20-something, 30-something. They all deserve our support. Trust me, every single one of them wants to play. Hansen, I'm sure would love to get some minutes. Batista would love to get some minutes. You can go through this lineup and go, hey, why isn't Batista starting, over X person? Same with Farr. How SFC built this club. They built it with depth, where if there's an injury, that there is no drop off. Same thing here. We all have our favorites. There's people that, still question, why isn't Batista starting? But just support the teams. That's all we got to do. We got one job as a fan: be loud, show up, and support the club.
Robert?
The big thing, like Harry said, just support the team. Whatever watch party, just go out, have fun, show respect. Let them know what SAFC fans are all about. And the bottom line is, be there or be Sacramento.
No thank you to that. Gamez?
Same thing. Just go out. That group? Anyways,
it's a baseball mitt. Anyway, it's
anyway,
like
same thing. Go out, support your teams, guys. Like I said, Crocketeers are gonna be at Alma Brewery, and then the guys from FTC and 210 will be at the watch party with SAFC. To answer Robert's question about why it got canceled for second pitch, was miscommunication. Miscommunication was the key factor in that one. But yeah, like I said,
I had nothing to do with that. That wasn't me.
But like I said, who knows? I'm still trying to see if I'm able to take my drum. Maybe we'll get some chants going in Chicken and Pickle. Get some fans to learn some chants, and let's just go. Let's go SAFC.
And our guest, Matt, your final thoughts?
This has just been such a fun season. Another step in SAFC's journey as a professional football club in our beloved hometown. Getting to see Spurs and Sports and Entertainment continue to invest more time and money into this club to create an even better product, and then have the fans respond to that with some of the best attendance figures we've had as a club in our history. Win or lose tomorrow, it's just been such a fun year, and really appreciate all of y'all as well for having me on today. So let's come on, you lads in black.
Thanks for joining us, Matt. And my final thought, pretty simply, a lot of professional pundits, a lot of podcasters are basically writing this off as a very simple Sacramento win. That's the kind of hashtag free fuel that we know our boys love to look at, and because it's going to motivate them. Because if you really want to underestimate this team, they will make you pay if you underestimate this team, and that's what's going to happen tomorrow. They're going to come out firing. They're going to come out with everything, and they're going to fight with everything. And at the same rate, we need to get behind them. Marsman's our keeper for this playoff run. That's what's going to happen, and we are going to succeed in front of them. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Let's go, boys. Let's get those 3 points. Let's move on, and let's try to get a Western Conference final either here in San Antonio or away. It doesn't matter, because that USL Championship final is going to take place at Toyota Field. So everybody get ready. Mark off Sunday, November 12th. Mark off that evening, because it's going to be a celebration. And what's life without goals? Good night.